After with your host, me, Alex Ringler, and let's find out who's calling in today. Tell us who you are, where you're calling in from, and I don't know, who your favorite 90210 character was.
Hi, I'm Russ White. I'm calling in from Las Vegas. I'm with Q Life Magazine, and my favorite then character was... forgot his name.
It ain't Brainster. Dylan?
No, the other one.
Brian Austin Green? Or
No.
Brandon?
Brandon.
Okay.
But
The blah one who took everyone's keys if they were gonna drunk drive. Anyway, next please.
But today,
Hi, I'm 21-year-old non-drag queen makeup artist, Danny Costa. And I gotta say, I think my favorite character is, I don't know who to pick, me.
Were you even born when 90210 was out? Like, I don't think you were. You were like Farrah. Farrah, like, she was born when freaking. Okay, anyway.
No,
Speaking of that, speaking of born in 1993, Mark.
Yes, that'd be me. I'm only 29. No, I'm Mark Baum Finley. I'm calling in from Seattle, Washington. I'm a drag queen.
Are you now?
Yes, amongst other things. And I never watched Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh, good for you. All right, next, please.
Hi, I'm Michael Barbieri. I'm calling in from New York City, and I'm the dining and entertainment writer for Q Life Magazine. And yeah, no, I never watched 90210 either. I didn't care.
Okay, well, that's all right. I mean, you missed out. It's all on Netflix now anyway. Next, please.
Hi, I'm Christopher Henry, and I'm calling in from New York City. I am an actor, singer, and comic, and I didn't watch a lot of Beverly Hills 90210, but I do have a soft spot for Shannon Doherty and for Tiffany Amber Thiessen, because go Kelly Kapowski. So, yeah.
She was very anti-Kelly on 90210, though. I remember she was smoking pot from the first episode. That was not Kelly Kapowski. Garrett.
Hi, everyone. I live in Las Vegas. I am the co-owner of Q Life, but today I'm calling in from Roseville, which is near Sacramento, California. So just traveling, visiting my best friend.
We're all over the place.
My older sisters always watched the show, and they used to dress me up like a lot of the characters on that show. But I think my favorite.
And you wonder why you're queer.
I know, right? 5 sisters dressing me up like girls all that. But I really liked Farrah Moan last night. I think it must have been the ponytail on top of the head or something.
The top knot.
She was kind of representing Kelly Taylor. I liked Kelly Taylor. I had a crush on Dylan, but then in later years when Ian Ziering became like a Chippendale, I was like, oh, hey, Ian Ziering. I think he's the one who came out of it with the best looks. But anyway, jumping right in. Okay, so this week after the elimination, it seemed like the girls are finally like, this is a competition. This isn't us being friends now. It's like, okay, so we've been wondering that on the show. So I guess around Snatch Game is when the girls stop being polite and start getting real. Mark, what did you think?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, it's always been that after Snatch Game is sort of like
it was like, oh shit, now it's time.
Real queens from the fake queens. And I think it's true. After Snatch Game, it's like, okay, now the heat's on.
it's the
Exactly.
midway point.
And it starts whittling down, and it becomes very apparent who's going.
Agreed. Okay, that being said, when we got the challenge, 90210, which if you didn't listen to the podcast this week, you should. The What's a Tea podcast, they had, oh God, I'm forgetting their names. Toy Spelling and...
And the other one?
Jenny Garth. Oh my God, she's from Arizona, my home state. I should remember that. Anyway, I think even when they first got the challenge and Pepper got to like kind of like cast the parts, and Aja's freak out into Shay doing like fine, have my part. I thought that, you know, which number one, Aja, come on. Okay, so what did people think of Aja's reaction to that? Christopher, speak on that for me.
Now you look like a bitch playing a bitch. That was...
It's good.
Peppermint, by the way, gives me confessional realness every single week. She delivers such great confessional. What do I think about Aja? I mean, I think it's up for grabs for her or Farrah over who claims the most whiny award this season, because every single episode.
Well, at least Farrah admits to it. She says she whines.
It could have been an out.
This is how it's played. I mean, when you have one person who's the winner of a mini challenge or wins the lip sync, they get to assign the roles, and you just have to go with it. I mean, look what Shea Coulee did with her part that she didn't even originally want. She turned it out no matter what. So
Yeah,
it didn't
but
show
Garrett,
up.
you were saying something about that.
Sometimes when you maybe don't have the self-confidence, I think it might be an out to maybe play that card of like, well, no matter what part I get, I'm going to say I didn't want it. So that way, later on, if I don't do well, then maybe I could say it's because I didn't get the part that I wanted.
Yeah, that wasn't the part I wanted.
It always backfires on.
Well, that's the thing. Is like when it happened, and Shay did the whole like, well, why don't you take my part then, and I'll do this because I can just do whatever I like. I can just make anything look fierce, which I think Shay can. I also think that was a setup for the ending, where it's like Shay's, of course, going to be fantastic at this role, and then Aja's not going to be great at her role, and then it's going to be like, so that's great. And then another thing that happened in the workroom was Alexis was going around kind of high and mighty from her wind and giving people advice.
My favorite thing was confessional moment was me.
Yeah, I thought it was odd though that Alexis won the challenge last week, but Peppermint got to pick the teams.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too.
She already assigned the role from the Kardashians, so why would they want to have her do it twice?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, maybe. That could be why. Yeah, that's a good point. But also, the advice that Alexis was giving, I didn't think was necessarily that good. I think she was just speaking up to maybe get camera time, and also to just kind of like be an ever-present like voice in the room.
Her obsession with the show gets the best of her input.
That's it.
She also said that she loved the show. She was a fan of the show. She was just gaga over the show. So I think she was just trying to express that she knew what was going on when it didn't seem like not everyone in the room knew.
But it did come across like she was a big know-it-all.
She would have said it was her favorite show.
It was condescending. It came across a little bit condescending.
Yeah, okay, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, and that's what the girls were feeling. So at one point, you just got to be like, okay,
Well,
like
also,
maybe set up and work on yourself.
in context with what we've seen with Alexis with Untucked and everything, it all kind of follows a through line. It's all kind of coming across. Maybe it's the editing, but it's all kind of coming across a little bit condescending, and she needs to watch that, because she's kind of, like I said before, being portrayed as a pseudo villain. So I mean,
she definitely has a tone.
Yeah,
she has a tone, and it is kind of a like maybe I know better than you tone, and so it's like she can't do much to fix that now because everything's been shot. So okay,
she delivers.
What was that?
She delivers though. It's not like she talks a lot of shit and then flops.
No.
That's true. Like she's always been like okay, and she she's won one challenge and she looked great as Breathless, but from here on out, I don't know if she's going to be able to necessarily top that. I don't know if we're going to see it. Anyway, so moving on to the challenge, Michael Barberi, I saw you sipping a lovely cocktail. Did you have a challenge-themed cocktail to give to us today?
This is called the Peach Pit, in honor of the coffee shop, the diner where they used to hang out at 90210. And it's made with peach nectar, peach vodka, vanilla vodka, and rum chata.
Oh, Lord.
It's very yummy.
Yes.
Well, I want one of those right now. I'm not drinking right now, which is so sad. Okay, so getting to the challenge. Speaking of the Peach Pit, my favorite part of the challenge was when Farrah's character says, "Why is the diner in the high school?" I was like, thank you for that. Because that happened, and it happened. I felt like the challenge was like a hybrid of 90210 and Saved by the Bell. Like, I don't know if it was because it was on a studio, but they were using 90210 characters in a Saved by the Bell setting, I thought. So the standouts when we finally saw the whole taping, and even during the taping, obviously Shay and Trinity. I thought Shay was probably going to win because she just fully committed to that character, but Trinity took it through. What did everybody else think? Danny, yes.
I really thought Valentina was going to pull through because the way she brought her drunk character was out there. My God.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. But my problem with that is it's kind of easy to play drunk. But she did play the whole innocent Mona Darden or Donna Martin, if anyone's seen the show. She was the virgin up until she was, I don't know, 37 or something on that show.
And she did well with having the green screen on her mirror, though, too. Like, she played that off really well.
Yeah, she did a good job, and that's why I'm glad she was in the top. I didn't necessarily think it was stand out enough, like as opposed to like Trinity and Shay to necessarily take the win. Michael, what do you think? Who are your favorites or least favorites of the challenge?
Well, the thing that was really clear was that Shea Coulee was funny right from the get-go, right out of the gate.
Yep.
You know, I mean, she was funny in rehearsals. She was making Jenny Garth and Tori Spelling laugh just when they were rehearsing.
Exactly,
So
and with the character that she wasn't initially assigned.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I loved Peppermint sort of taking charge and saying, okay, no, you two are swapping roles. Shut the fuck up, basically.
Instead of encouraging a banter back and forth, that sort of thing. That was great. Also, I did have one problem with, because they kept calling her Grandria. If anybody watched the show, her name was Andrea Zuckerman, and she insisted that she be called Andrea. So I wish they had called her Grandria. So that was my own.
That was called out in the show, though.
No, but that's the thing. That was Alexis saying you should call her Grandria, and I'm like, no, that's not how they said it. So again, bad advice from Alexis. So Mama, what did you think of the challenge? Who were your favorites? Top on.
Being as I'm not a 90210 person, I can only go on there what they did. And Trinity was hysterical. I'm sorry. Like they said, she was Jennifer Coolidge. It was very fun.
She was also kind of Amy Poehler from Mean Girls.
Yes. Yeah.
Just like, you kids keep me young.
You kids keep me young. Yeah, it's very funny. And Farrah was cute. Valentina was cute. I was sorry for Sasha. Sasha didn't, you know.
Yeah, she didn't have much to do.
I like what she said. I guess it didn't need the Meryl Streep treatment.
Well, Sasha could have played that role up a little bit more, and she didn't. She didn't have many lines, but as Tori and Jenny said, she could have pulled it.
But I don't think it's her thing to. I don't think it's her thing to go that far over the top, and that's what they wanted. But that's it's not her wheelhouse. I mean, not.
But this is the time when you need to let yourself go and do that.
And this is not a show about staying in your wheelhouse.
No, but that's the thing. Is like the girls, the queens. They kind of have this debate every year. It's like, how true do you stay to your own, like what you do as a performer, and how much do you let go and change? And it's always a delicate balance of what you give the judges, what they want to see, but also staying true to your roots.
Well, like Carson was saying, you're always on point. You always stay true to who you are, which I think is a great thing.
It is, and that can take you far. I mean, I think Violet Chachki kind of won doing that. She didn't necessarily go outside of like who she was, and she got the crown, so it can work either way. So I think we're all kind of
being in the bottom sort of woke Sasha up a bit too.
Maybe she'll give a little more. Yeah. But also like we saw in the Kardashian challenge, Shay didn't have but one little bit to do right in the middle, and she won because she brought everything she had to that role. The same could have been done with Sasha's role.
I mean, but that part was written for that, though.
It was.
That part was written for that. That's a scene-stealing part.
It is.
Just like Trinity's was a scene-stealing part, as was Shay's in this one as well. Alexis's could have been.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Even
could have been, but she didn't do it. You know, she was too busy being her.
Yeah.
You know.
That was, and that's the thing with Aja's character too, is that could have been a scene-stealing part.
Yeah.
And she couldn't have been more dull at it.
When they were going at it to kiss, going.
It's one thing to stay on brand. It's another thing to not just take what you've been given and just make it stretch. Just exaggerate it a little bit. I mean, you can stay on brand and still do that. I mean,
watch a fucking Carol Burnett show rerun.
Right, exactly.
Also, I think these girls would really benefit with like an improv class, because especially if you know you're going into this show, not necessarily if you're just a drag queen doing what you want to do, but if you're going into this show, you take an improv class, it'll teach you how to like just respond to what's in front of you.
Know how to sew, know how to improv, know how, you know, all those things.
But that's,
You've been on for almost 10 years, kids.
And that's what's great about this show, is it makes you do everything, so you got to be prepared for anything. That being said, moving on to the runway, I was a little disappointed with Ru. Her hair was bigger last week, and the challenge was like big out there hair. I was like, shouldn't your hair be taking up the whole runway at this point?
Michael, you have a muff on your head.
It's like my big hair.
Okay, all right. It's a choice. She doesn't have to do the challenge, so I guess that's fine. My favorite on the runway, I think, was Valentina, just because she had the Diana Ross hair out to there, and she had a really good silhouette. Who were our favorites on the runway, Russ?
I'm going with Trinity. I thought she was fantastic. Everything about her was great.
Agreed.
Yeah,
And she kind of had like, she kind of had as voluminous hair as Valentina. They kind of brought.
It had the volume, but she had a look about her.
It was very 70s.
Very 70s.
Valentina was, I think, trying a little too hard this week.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was a little over the top for Valentina, whereas Trinity was just spot on. Everything was right.
You think she was trying to do Valentina the candle? Do you think she was trying too hard to like maybe not be like, or to be something else, to be a Diana Ross like maybe look instead of being like a Valentina big hair look?
More of a caricature rather than a queen.
Okay. Danny, who was your favorite this week?
I'm sorry, but Valentina's really caught my eye. Going from the little flower-like picks down her legs and the gloves, and then it's like
the same gloves she's worn the whole time.
Are they the same gloves?
But it was like you want to look at everywhere else, but then you look at the hair. I'm like, wait, shouldn't something be also really in the hair? But now I'm like, that's so much hair.
Yeah, didn't they clock her on they looked like maxi pads or something? Someone said that.
No. It's just pads.
Oh, just pads. Okay. Yeah, if we watched Untucked, I was like, they're like, it looks like The Walking Dead took a bite out of your ass.
Took a bite out of your ass.
Like, Mark, who's your favorite on the runway or your least?
I actually really loved Farrah Moan.
Yeah.
I thought her hair was spectacular.
And her makeup was perfect.
I thought her makeup washed her out a little bit, though. There wasn't a lot of dimension to the face.
Highlighter.
Looked like a ghost.
I loved it.
Highlighter, my God.
But no, I mean, I loved her wig. I thought she met the challenge. I didn't like Trinity's hair on the runway. I didn't at all. I thought it looked like a brushed out lion's mane. It was really strange.
Speaking of lions, Nina Bonina Brown.
Well, speaking of,
I'm
glad they finally clocked her. But you know what? I don't think she has the money.
Oh yeah, that's true. But she's still like, when she drew on her face, I was like, it looked like like a female version of Rum Tum Tugger from Cats.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Her makeup was great.
Yeah.
And she did a really good job. I mean, I'm glad that what's her name? Michelle.
Michelle. She clocked her and was like, give us another look. Give us another silhouette.
And I'm really tired of the breastplate.
I'm tired of that on anyone.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's one thing to do it, but
fucking hips too.
Yeah, but then to do it every week, it's like that's what Michelle was leaning at.
I think with that week after week, he's been getting the criticism of like stop playing the victim type of things, and seems like it always comes back to that, or like that people are out to get you some way.
Yeah, it's always
In the challenge, he was kind of like getting upset with them because they couldn't understand what he was saying and stuff too. So I think that he gets frustrated or whatever and always tends to be on the defense.
But that's the thing, and then he goes inside, and this is what Ru was trying to get out of him last week. It was like, it's not other people, it's you talking to yourself inside. If you watched Untucked, we barely saw Nina in Untucked because I think she kind of took herself out of it. Number one, because she knew she was probably going to be in the bottom and had to rehearse. But I didn't see her but like one moment at the end. I was like,
yeah, no, she didn't. But the one thing I will say, I thought Carson's comment was rather rude.
What's that?
She's out in the parking lot keying your car.
Oh, I mean, I think that's just queens. Like, if they get mad at you, they're gonna key your car. Like I didn't take offense to that.
I think we're rude to say something like that.
Oh, you thought it took it to a different level. I could see how I could see how you could see that.
I just think he overstepped a line.
All right. Okay. Good point. Michael, tops, bottoms of the runway.
I loved Farrah. I loved her makeup. I mean, I know that you said you didn't care for it. I loved her makeup. I loved her hair. I thought she looked on point. I loved Sasha's East Village punk, the spiky hair. I love that. I thought that was fabulous.
I thought that was a good way of taking it outside of the box too. When it's big hair, you think what Valentina would have done. You think what Trinity would have done.
Well,
Thank you, big hair. Michael's giving us big hair today. But yeah, she took it out of the box and gave us the spikes, which is like still her wheelhouse, but doing the challenge.
And the was great too.
And Peppermint reminded me a little bit of the first winner, Bibi Zahara Benet.
A little bit. Yeah.
With that leopard outfit and the big giant mane of hair. Reminded me of Bibi.
I agree. Okay, Garrett, What's going on?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, if I were to just go off of the challenge and look at the big hair, Sasha's didn't make sense. But with the story of his mom and the reason why he's a bald queen, for him to
Loved
have
that.
hair at all, it made sense for him to be like, for him, that's a lot of hair. Maybe for somebody else, that's not. But in his wheelhouse and in his character, and with his mom having cancer and him paying tribute to that and sticking to that, I liked that he actually stuck to it and did his own version of hair, which wasn't a lot compared to others, but a lot.
Well, the thing is that the challenge wasn't a lot of hair; it was big hair, and that was like 5 big spikes of hair on head. So kinda, you know. Christopher, what were your tops and bottoms?
My tops were definitely Trinity. I think she had the most polished look coming out there. To top the fact that she had one of the top most polished performances. I thought that Shea Coulee gave an impressive runway, as she always did. And I was a fan of Valentina's. I couldn't understand why she was just safe. I loved the wig. I loved the hair. I did appreciate Sasha's East Village realness as well. But yeah, I would give it to Trinity. I think this episode was a slam dunk for her all around. I mean, she... coming close behind her, I would probably give to, Mom, are you popping pills over there? Did you get it from the same
You're on speed.
I'm on speed,
No,
too.
I'm on speed.
Are you on speed?
Yeah, no, I think, and because of that, I think that's why Trinity won, was because of her look, whereas Shea Coulee was kind of the most basic look on the runway, and that's why I think she gave a great performance, but she didn't necessarily bring it to the runway, and that's why Trinity probably took the winning spot this week.
Yeah. But I did like Shay's pink poodle mullet.
Yes.
I mean, that was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. But it's even like Michelle said, she's like wearing a bathing suit and a jacket. Normally I clock people for that, but you rocked it and it was fine. Russ, I don't think we have you audio anymore. There we go. Now you're there. It turned it off for a minute. Okay, getting to the lip sync, bottom 2, I think it was the right bottom 2. I did not think that Nina was going to stay.
Really?
Yeah, just the way that they were shooting the lip sync and how much like energy Aja was giving. I was like, okay, I guess they're gonna send Nina home, and then they didn't. What did Mark? What did you think?
I thought the right person won. I thought the right person went home.
I wanted Aja to go home, but I was worried that because of the lip sync, she was gonna save herself.
I think Nina's lip sync was just fine.
Really?
I think when you have anytime they're shooting 2 competing queens, when they try and one up each other on one side of the stage, one of them has a dominant role, and that was Nina. And every time the dominant role wins, when you try and upstage that other queen in lip sync, you fail.
Yeah,
you're trying.
Yeah. And she walked away. I mean, it's everyone who wins once they get cornered over in that, they get cornered over on that side of the stage. They just, no, I'm going like Peppermint last week. She walked to the other side of the stage and did her, whatever.
Go to the other side, draw the attention away from her.
Right.
Try and upstage her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to watch it again because
there's a whole thing going around online right now that's like
controlled that stage.
There's a whole thing going around. There's a whole I looked it up. There's like a whole hashtag justice for Aja. Yeah, there's because it's not sometimes it's so close. I mean, and they both were really good. They both did lip sync. Overall, I think the right person went home. But if you were to just watch the lip sync, they were both really good. Although I did get more emotion from the other one. I forgot.
Nina.
Sorry, Nina. I got more emotion from Nina in the song. I feel like she was feeling it, as opposed to the tricks and the flips and the splits and all that stuff.
And you could tell that Ru was honed in on her.
And I'm gonna contradict myself in one little way, in that as much as I'm kind of sick of Nina's breastplate, when she did the shimmy, that was very funny.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, okay, then is there a line between throwing everything but the kitchen sink into the lip sync, like splits and back walkovers and jumping off the stage, or just owning your presence and and
do the lip sync?
Yeah.
Just do the lip sync. Period.
Some people have done that and it hasn't worked for them. So I think it's effective. So
the best lip sync ever was what's her name? The big girl.
Mimi, I'm first.
No.
Ginger Minge. Eureka.
She did.
What season?
It was a different season. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, different season. She did. You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman.
Latrice.
Latrice. Latrice, and she just stood there and just did it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
she didn't do splits.
But that's the thing, that works for that song because it's Aretha Franklin like singing it, so it's that kind of works. But okay, so I thought it was a toss up. I am glad Nina stayed because I think Aja was getting a little too like we said, a little whiny and not really like playing the game as much as
sometimes
they both had attitude problems.
I agree.
From the beginning, yeah.
But I'm hoping that this kind of next week that this kind of wakes Nina up a little bit more. I mean, at this point, we've been wanting Nina to wake up for half a season now. And it's like, and if she's not woke.
Well, Shay was very, very vocal about that this week.
Yeah.
I mean, she was last week and she was again this week too. We're not putting up with this anymore.
Exactly.
I don't know if anybody watched the keynote speech that RuPaul gave at
Yes,
Drag
I did.
I haven't yet.
It's really good. It's it addresses a lot of the issues that I have with Nina. She's got this inner saboteur, which RuPaul talks about a lot. And she hasn't quite found that voice yet to quiet down that inner saboteur. And the problem is it is all coming internally. Nobody there is out to get you. Everybody there wants to see you do well at what you do. But you're only going to hurt your own experience if the entire time you are taking every critique personally, you are doubting yourself, and then at the last minute, you kind of turn it out for lip sync. I mean, you're depriving yourself of this whole amazing and challenging experience. So, I mean,
I agree. But like that happens to all of us. It happens to most of the queens. It's like you get into a competition setting, you think, oh my God, I have to be the best. And like that makes your mind go, if I'm not the best, then I'm failing. And so it's like, you have to get yourself out of there. And Ru does that with has done that with countless queens over the series, being like, you need to get out of your head. You need to give us more. Like, just be yourself. Stop thinking and doing. Again, improv. Stop thinking, just do. Anyway, okay, so now another queen's gone. Who do we think is in the top, or who do we think is going to be our top 3? Let's start with Danny.
I still hold Valentina and Alexis Michelle. Given how Trinity was turning it out this week and how she's been back and forth between her and Shay, it's hard to say who would also fill that third spot. I feel like it's a tie between Trinity and Shay for a third spot.
Okay. Mr. Mark Mama Finley.
I'm still with Sasha, Shay, and Valentina, my top 3.
That's a good top 3. And Michael Barberi.
I'm liking Shay, Valentina, and now I'm really liking Trinity because I think Trinity she came into it as like a pageant queen, but she's got a whole new career in comedy. Yeah. She's got a whole new career as a comedy queen.
Yeah. Well, talk about sticking to your brand, but like expanding a little bit. I think Trinity's done the best of that this season. Yeah. Okay, Christopher.
I think it's going to be Shea Coulee, Trinity, and Valentina. And I thought they were gearing up Alexis maybe a little bit more, maybe a top 4. But I think that based on Untuck, they might be gearing for Trinity and Valentina to be pitting off against each other.
I think so too, because that would be a fun butting of heads.
Yeah, there's a Roxy Jinx Monsoon thing going on there in Untucked. It's like,
you're talking about my daughter, you behave.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to admit your competition, but your competition. That's kind of what I'm getting. David?
Agreed. Garrett, what do you think?
Peppermint and Valentina, and I'm going to go with probably Sasha.
Okay. We're still Team Peppermint over there. I love me some Peppermint. I personally doubt she's going to make top 3. I think she could win Miss Congeniality this year, possibly. I could see that. Russ, on the website, what are our tops and bottoms on QLife.com?
Tops this week, Sasha Velour, Shea Coulee, and Aja.
Okay.
Oddly enough, Nina Brown is at the bottom.
Uh-oh, okay.
So it's kind of a flip, followed by Kimura and then Valentina. So Valentina's been at the bottom of the list.
On QLife.
Be hating, honey.
Haters, I think so, yeah. Maybe trying to bring her down a peg because she's so fabulous.
Yeah. But yeah, Sasha Velour, Shea Coulee, number 1 and number 2. If we take out Aja, then Trinity's number 3. So it's kind of in line with what a lot of our panel is saying.
Yeah, I think we have a similar. I personally agree with Chris. I think it's going to be Shea, Valentina, and Trinity. But, you know, Sasha could be in there as well. I'm not sure. It's still anybody's game. We have, what, 8 more episodes to go?
8.
7? 8, okay.
8 queens
months, kids.
I just did we just published our interview that we had done with Pheromone before the show started. And part of what she says in that interview is really cool. She's like, being on the show makes you do things in drag that you never would have done. So you actually get to know your drag character better as you go through this experience, because like you wouldn't go like hang gliding or something like in drag. You would do that as a boy. And so some of it, usually whenever you're in drag, it's only to perform on stage. And so you're not actually doing other things. And so I thought that was kind of a cool thing.
Unless you've been around like I have and have been doing it for, you know, since God was around.
Haven't you done everything in drag at this point?
Almost.
Everything and a couple of things. And some bunnies from the other week, I think.
Next week, we'll have bunnies next week.
So, you know,
Yay, bunnies! Well, that's what's great about the show is it does challenge these girls to do everything. It keeps it entertaining for us. That's why we keep coming back. I hope you all keep coming back to the morning after and spending an afternoon with us. Grab a peach pit cocktail and come back. Oh, I do want to plug one thing. I'm starting to raise money for Broadway Bears again, which is why I'm drinking coffee and not liquor today. But we'll post a link to my website where we raise money for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS every year. It's always a big party. I'm hoping we can get Q Life to cover some of the Broadway Bears events because they're really fun and sexy. But thank you guys so much for joining me today. I love you all. I will see you next week.
I'm hosting a VIP room for Bunny at Transgesture here in Seattle. So this week.
What was that? Say that again, Mark.
Lady Bunny will be here in town in Seattle on Thursday, and I'm hosting the VIP section and VIP party afterwards. So
and who is Lady Bunny?
Nobody, an absolute nobody. She's a new girl. She's trying out something new. It's a one-woman show. I don't know. She could be funny. I know.
And I hear her wigs are very demure.
Demure, very petite.
Did she steal the Bunny Boys?
No, but I'm taking my Bunny Boys to Bunny. We'll see if I can get him away from her.
She's gonna snatch some carrots. Okay, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Don't forget, they did announce DragCon New York. So
I know. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to go. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining me. Lovely talking with you. Everybody say bye.